Today's topic takes a look at Stockholm Syndrome as an instrument of weaponized poverty. What is Stockholm Syndrome? According to Healthline, Stockholm Syndrome is a psychological response that causes survivors of abuse to sympathize with their abusers. How then can this be a weapon of poverty? Well, let's start with the masking of rights as favors. When you've been denied your rights and access to basic infrastructure for so long as a taxpayer, you may begin to show gratitude when a new administration comes along and offers you a fraction of what you're entitled to. We've seen many Nigerian politicians use this tactic to try to legitimize their corruption and demand gratitude from the people they are stealing from. Many Nigerians in conversations would often say things like, "Even if they are stealing from us, at least they did better than the previous administration." Statements like this is possible in Nigeria because many politicians seem to be accountable to themselves and not to the people. There are no consequences to their actions. You cannot demand accountability, and when you do, they dare you to go to court, where they often would most likely win. Another way that the ruling class induce sympathy is through artificial scarcity and dependency. We have seen how the ruling class give out food palliatives and cheap rice during periods of food scarcity. They don't do this to end food insecurity. No. They could do that by ending terrorism on farmers, curbing insecurities, and boosting agriculture. Instead, they give out freebies to garner sympathy and to create dependency. Flashback to 2023, when the government created a national cash scarcity by directing the removal of old cash from all banks and ATMs prior to the presidential election. Do you remember seeing videos on social media of organized groups at polling stations handing out cash in exchange for votes? Again, scarcity and dependency. Well, in this case, political exploitation. How about Stockholm Syndrome through religious manipulations, where the ruling class try to frame our political and economic problems as spiritual? They know that many feel a sense of hopelessness and defeat, so the politicians come on TV to create oppressor apologists, to deflect blame and to demand prayers. But what exactly should we be praying for? Oh, that an angel should come down and teach our leaders about accountability? And while he's at it, he should spiritually remove greed from the hearts of our politicians, and maybe work with Julius Berger to fix our roads? Well, amen to that. I am often taken aback when I speak with people who turn out to be oppressor apologists. Many seem to live in denial or have a sense of false hope. One such apologist proceeded to make unfounded assumptions for the present administration, talking about how it is not their fault that things are this bad. He said the present administration met a lot of problems left behind by the previous administration, that they need at least 8 more years to fix it. He talked about how things will get bad before they can be better, and that we all just need to pray for the nation. I then asked him how he came to know all this, whether he had insider information, to which he replied that he just knew because that much was glaring. I walked away from that conversation stifling a smile. I had heard this before, during the previous administration actually. That script was familiar. This is what Stockholm Syndrome does. It turns us into oppressor apologists. The ruling class knows this too, and they use Stockholm Syndrome to keep us in a never-ending cycle of hope. But as Tupac said, you all are wondering when it's gonna get better. It ain't gonna get better. Why? Because when poverty is weaponized, the very core of our cultural identity begins to change. We start to become a country of beggars, amongst other fallouts. And with that said, I will talk to you in the next episode.